Back again, Jacko.
That's an absolute slice, Jamie, being with you, mate. It's unreal. No, I'm really enjoying this.
So am I, actually.
First bit of media in 35 years.
Yeah, it's great.
And,
and you're smashing it.
Yeah. You have a good weekend?
Yeah, absolutely.
You trip over anybody or you going?
No, there was nobody dead in my backyard, I can tell you.
Well,
That's always a good start to the week, you know what I mean?
All right.
Now, Doug, sorry.
Yeah, go on.
Jacko, our special guest for this episode of Tell Me How Good You Are hailed from the industrialised working class western suburbs of Melbourne and became a legend of Australian rules football. He made his VFL debut for Footscray in 1978, where he played 329 games and was captain from 1990 to 1993. Before moving to Fitzroy in 1995, playing a further 21 games.
Keep going.
He is recognised as one of the finest wingmen the game has ever seen, playing 350 games, scoring 227 goals, plus representing Victoria 5 times. His accolades include Father of the Year in 1988, the Charles Sutton Medal in 1985 as Footscray's MVP, was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2004, inducted into the Footscray Hall of Fame in 2010, and then he was upgraded to club legend in 2014.
So he should have been.
Post his VFL AFL career, our next guest was involved in the media as a regular contributor on the Footy Show for the Nine Network and Live and Kicking for Channel 7. He even ran for the Victorian Senate in the 2013 Australian federal election as a member of the Palmer United Party. Welcome to Tell Me How Good You Are, Doug Hawkins.
Hey, Dougie.
Hey, Jacko, how are you?
How are you, mate? Great to see you.
Good to see you, mate. Well done.
Now,
Very good.
Now, Dougie, where did it all start? I know we had a talk off camera, but where did it all start for you?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, back when I was a kid, I mean, when we saw on the black and white tally, we saw, you know, Alex Jeslenko, Jezza, you beauty, right, take that mark over Jerker Jenkins. I was just a young kid, 13, family of 6 kids. Where did it click for you that you got the love for footy?
Well, Jacko, it all started at the Braybrook Football Club. And, I look back to my upbringing. My mum and dad split up when I was only 3 years of age, me and my sister. We lived in the commission flats, me, my mum, my sister, and then later on we had a stepfather. We had a TV that we had to put 2 bob in to operate it. It was a rental TV.
Yeah, right.
Mum would ask. Mum was halfway through a movie and the bloody TV would conk out. And I got to get some money. I got to run down the milk bar and it'd be shut. And then I got to run to the service station. By the time I got back, the movie was over. And I didn't eat
You got fit out of it. No, yeah,
big mark.
Look, at that time, what were you dreaming? I mean, look, you know.
Well,
we all saw these big guns moving around on the black and white tallies, right? But what really clicked it for you to follow your dream in footy?
Well, yeah. But being Braybrook, Mark and Jamie, we had a great, well, I'll say role model. This bloke was an absolute superstar, Mark and Jamie, and we're talking about a bloke called Ted Whitten. Jacko, he was called Mr. Football. He was from the Braybrook Football Club. And we all thought that, well, if Teddy Whitten can make it and make something of it, so can we. And we're probably sick of people saying that you can't do it.
Yeah.
That was a word that really,
how many
really
times did you hear that? How many?
Oh, fuck.
And
It drove me.
Did you ever get
It drove me.
Yeah, go on. What were you saying?
It just drove me crazy because to me, at the end, I thought, you know what? It's driving me the other way because I'm going to prove all these people wrong who say because you come from Braybrook, which a lot of people thought was a shit area and that was how it was, and you can't do it, but it's just a load of crap and really
on that point you just said, right? Were there kids in your neighbourhood that you thought, well, like I know when I was just in the infancy of playing footy, there was kids that they had the good footy boots. They had more than what you had, right? And they looked great and they played footy well, right? But they never got there, right? Were they that sort of kid?
Yeah, there's one bloke, Jacko, you might have played with him. He had the new boots and the nice shorts and all that. His name was Brian Wilson. You remember him, Jacko?
Brian Wilson.
He proved that theory wrong.
he won a Brownlow medal. I mean, you know, the bloke, I played a full forward with that bloke for, I think it was two seasons. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
At Melbourne.
Yeah.
But, you know, you'd never get a pass off him, you know, at 45, inside 45. He'd shoot from anywhere. I don't think he even gave a handball. His handball stats were very, very low, unless he was about to get killed by the big backman at the time. But I reckon his handball stats would have been very, very low. What I'm saying is, was he a selfish player? I thought he was a very selfish player. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, it's really funny, Jamie, Jacko. When I mentioned Brian Wilson, there were certainly a lot of players who I think that could have went on and played VFL footy, which it was back then, from the Braybrook Football Club. We had a lot of successes as a junior club and junior teams. I played there for 8 years. We played in 7 grand finals. We won 6 flags. So we were an absolute dominant junior football club. And what the Braybrook football gave to Dougie Hawkins was it gave me a belonging.
Yep.
Yeah.
It gave me something away from my flat that I lived with my mum and my sister.
Yeah.
It took me away from that environment of the commissioned flats.
Yeah.
And it gave me a belonging to train with all these blokes who went on to be my great mates. And I owe that Braybrook Football Club a hell of a lot. But it gave me a start only as a 10-year-old kid who had a dream about playing AFL or VFL footy, which it was back then. And this club gave me that opportunity, and I thank that Braybrook Football Club and all those young blokes now who've become on. Mate, we had, Jacko, Jamie, we had a 50-year reunion about 5 weeks ago at the Gold Coast, down there at Broadbeach.
Yeah.
And we got 15 of us from the under-17s, 1976 Premiership side. We got 15 of us together.
Real,
fantastic.
Real people. But real people.
And Broadbeach is
Exactly.
a beautiful spot to go and visit as well. See, it was, kill two birds with one stone.
No,
Dougie, can I go back to something even earlier? When you're talking about younger life, and your mother was, your parents divorced when you were 3 years of age. Life must have been tough because back in those days, being a single parent wasn't like it was today, where it's probably more acceptable and there's a lot more support, out there.
Good point.
Back then, it would have been a really tough time to be, part of a single parent family and then just trying to get ahead in life.
Yeah, Jamie, you're spot on, mate. Absolutely spot on. And there were stages and times and nights and lunch times and breakfast that we didn't know we were going to have food on the table. It was that pretty tough. Tough times. And
but that was everywhere.
Yeah, it was, Jacko. You're dead right. It wasn't just Dougie Hawkins in the commission flats. It was all over. All over not just in Melbourne. You're right, Jacko. The western suburbs, Melbourne,
eastern suburbs.
So and that sort of stuff made you tough. It made you hard, and it made you believe in yourself. And again, as I was a 10-year-old growing up, it wasn't boys until I was about 15. I thought, you know what? I can bloody play this game.
Yeah.
I can play this footy. I can play footy pretty good. And it was that age that when I started to really think about this dream I had or having about playing VFL footy. You know what? It's going to come true.
Yeah.
This is going to come true. And I didn't matter what was in my way or what was going to try and stop me. I was going to knock it over.
Yeah.
I didn't care if it was Footscray, North Melbourne, South Melbourne. I wanted to play one game of VFL footy.
So tell me
it
about.
Didn't matter.
Let's just fast forward a little bit, right? You went through under 19s at Bulldogs, I take it. No. Straight into the seniors.
Straight in from the under 17s. Me and Robbie Gronewagen.
Wow.
Best man in my wedding, by the way, and I was in his.
Yeah.
We both went to Footscray after the Braybrook under 17s grand final at Skinner Reserve in Sunshine.
Yeah.
There was 5,000 people there to watch that game.
Yeah.
And my next game was against the reigning premiers, North Melbourne, in front of 23,000 at the Western Oval.
And that was your favourite team back in the day as well, wasn't it?
That was my team, Jamie. And I've gone from playing at the Skinner Reserve in an under 17 grand final to running out against the reigning premiers and lined up on Keith Greg, my hero. So,
oh my God,
you know, that stuff's just amazing. That stuff is just amazing, and it was just something that, boys, it was just.
Yeah, see, that's a lot different to my first game. Like, I'm running out in my first game, and I'm playing on Calvin Moore, right, who's been a legend full back, and full forwards have been getting absolute stumbling, punched out, bashings over a decade before, right? And my first game was on Calvin Moore, but I was at Melbourne in a bottom side like you, and I ran out. I don't know how many were there, 18,000 at the MCG. It felt like it was just a public toilet. There was that many there, right? They were just coming in from the Flinders Street station to use the toilet, right? But that's how many were there. But I ran out and busted my ass, right, to play my first game, Doug. And I ran out and I said to myself, this is no bullshit. I said to myself, is this it? I've done all this to get here, and this is it. So that's totally contradictory to what your first experience was in top line footy. It's unreal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a totally different, Mark and Jamie, and what a lot of people don't know, and it's actually one of my books that you blokes know. Mark will know I'm an author of 3 books.
Right.
I haven't read one of them. But I'm an author of 3 books.
No,
but what I did as a 17-year-old, I was invited to the South Melbourne Football Club. A bloke called Oberon Pirac was the general manager.
I remember that name.
You remember Pirac? He was a good mate of Terry Wallace's when Terry was at the Bulldogs, and a bloke called Isaac Appel, who was the secretary of the South Melbourne Football Club.
I remember that name too. Yeah.
Yeah, Isaac Appel, Jacko. So they invited me down to South Melbourne, and the other guy that they were courting from Noble Park, his name was Tony Morwood. Remember Tony Morwood?
Yeah.
There was 3 brothers.
Yeah.
Jane, Paul, and Tony. Tony was just.
I remember the Morwood brothers. Yeah, they were great players.
So there it was. Yeah, Jacko, they're great players, and Tony was a terrific player, and they courted me for 2 or 3 games to go to their luncheons.
Yeah.
I put in a clearance to Footscray to go to South Melbourne, and the Bulldogs knocked it back, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
But that's a true story.
Yeah.
I was going to go to South Melbourne and play with the South Melbourne Footy Club down at Lakeside Oval.
Not a bad place either.
Now, Doug, you come out of a local league winning a premiership at 17 years of age. That first pre-season must have been like...
How'd you go with that?
How'd you deal with that, going in from that level to VFL level? I mean, it was and really it's a boys to men moment, isn't it? As a player.
They punish you.
Oh,
Punish you.
Yeah, no, it was interesting, Jamie, Jack. It was interesting. I had a very good endurance. So a lot of the long distance running, I was right up the front. I did it actually fairly easy. I had really good endurance, and but then again, here I am running around with the blokes like Gary Dempsey, Calvin Templeton, Teddy Whitten Jr., Alan Stoneham, Ian Dunstan. The list just goes on and on. And here I am, the boy from Braybrook, mixing it here with some of the big stars of the VFL footy. Do I belong here? Probably not, but geez, you got to have a go at it.
Well, you got to learn quick. You got to learn quick.
Yeah, 100%, Jacko. Yeah. So really, just to run out on the ground with them blokes.
Yeah.
And then to watch the Kangaroos run past me, Malcolm Blight, Keith Gregg, Wayne Shiverbush.
You were starstruck, Dougie. You were starstruck.
Oh, mate. David Dench, Frank Dumbledon, Gary Counton.
The greatest fullback of all time you just mentioned. A lot of people wouldn't realise who he is, but listen, David Dench, right? David Dench got reported once in his whole illustrious career, Jamie.
He hit you, did he?
It's a moment I'm very proud of. But, geez, to get him wound up...
Are you telling me that he got suspended because of something you did to him?
No, I didn't do it to him. You couldn't upset this bloke. You couldn't throw him off his rails, right? You could not, no matter what you do, because psychologically, I used a lot of different methods to try and throw blokes off the game. But... that was one bloke that you just couldn't shove. But he had one small flaw. If you hit a small bloke, right, in front of him, he would lose his rails.
Okay.
Right, and that's what happened. And it was unfortunate. I'm sorry I did that to David Dench because I remember one time
the one stain on his career.
and I really felt out of all of the footy career, that's the one I feel bad because I just thought he was just so good. I remember he took off from full back once and embarrassed the shit out of me. He took off from the half back line, ran down the wing into the forward line and kicked the goal. And I'm thinking, I'm going to get dropped over this. This is the end of my footy career, right? But anyway, it's just one of those things. And you were living from, possession to possession back then, right? If you didn't get so many possessions or you didn't kick so many goals, you're the first target. As a forward, you're the first target to go out of the side. Dougie played up the ground a bit on the wing, so he had a little bit more leeway and he could run, but yeah, as a forward, no, it was different. Let's get back to Dougie.
Yeah, so we're talking about the fact you're with Western Bulldogs with Footscray for so long. Did you sort of like stay with them thinking you're going to be like a one-team player for your entire career?
Jamie, again, the Footscray football gave me an opportunity. It gave me the dream that I was always dreaming about as a kid from Braybrook to play that one game of footy, and I didn't know I was ever going to go on and play 329 games, have a 17-year career at the Footscray Football Club. And in that journey, I had a knee reconstruction. I missed footy for 12 months. And a lot of people forget about that. And in 1980, I did my knee again earlier, and then 86, I did my knee anterior cruciate the whole lot. So I missed about bloody 30 games of footy from my knee. So that was a
so
huge
you would have
blow.
What you're saying is you could have possibly played.
Could have played 400.
You could have played 400 in a real game, as opposed to what they're playing today. Like, don't forget when Dougie was playing, the wingman, like Michael Roach, the star full forward at Richmond, he started on the wing. He was 6'4.5", right? Dougie's. Well, how tall are you, Dougie?
Near 6 foot.
I'm a Collingwood 6 footer.
Yeah, right. So, and you got big bodies banging you around back then. Yeah. I mean, they weren't small. They say, in comparative to these days, they say, they run, they're bigger, they run faster. No, they don't. We were heavier and running more explosively back then, right? So if you got hit in the first quarter off big blokes, whether you're on the wing or in the half back line or in the forward line, you stayed hit.
Yeah.
Not like today.
Yeah.
They get up like the Indian rubber man and off they go again.
Yeah, you're spot on, Mark. It was last man standing stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't this rotation off the ground where you could come off after you kick a goal and
sickening.
all that. That crap didn't happen. It was last man standing. And as Mark said, there were some great wingers, and I knew every week that I was never going to play on a mug.
No.
I was going to play on some bloke who could play footy.
How did you cope with that?
So,
how did you cope with that?
Well, Jacko, I knew who I was going to play on. I knew the blokes that I could have a bit of a crack out, a little bit of a verbal. I mean, I wasn't a physical player, but I was happy to have a go if I had to have a go. But and then it was blokes like like Dipper and the late Darren Mullane, the late Merv Nagel.
They came later though.
But Jacko, you can't verbal in blokes. Guess what?
Yeah,
they wouldn't give a shit. Jacko, Jamie, they don't care.
Yeah.
Now then you get some light wingmen. I'm not going to name blokes, but you get some light wingmen that you can actually get into a little bit. You
like
can get into
Grant Laurie. Was Grant Laurie a wingman at the start?
Yeah, Grant played a bit of wing.
Yeah. They transferred him to a backline for a while. I didn't know how that worked out, but anyway.
He was lightly framed, Jacko.
Yeah.
So, Jamie, just to get back to that Bulldog situation, and as we all know, life goes quick, but footy goes quick.
Yeah.
Footy went like that. 17 years at Footscray. You know what? I broke the great Ted Whitten's record, which was... And footy's about team, not individual, but that was my grand final. That was my grand final. And 7 weeks later, when I didn't see it coming, Alan Joyce and Peter Gordon, they just went bang.
Yeah.
I got sacked. I didn't see it coming. And here's a young boy who started at the age of 17, spent 17 years. I'd half my life there. It was like the early days. There were stages there. That was my first home.
Yeah.
Not my second home. That footy club was my first home.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's come to an end.
Yeah.
I got no trade. What was I going to do?
Yeah.
I love playing footy. And it was all over.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was all over.
Well, we're
Dougie,
just
you
on that point, right? You said it was all over, right? And we'll go into all the media stuff and all the blah 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 that comes after it. You know, you established yourself, right? Look, when you finish and the snow melts, right, on your career, right, and you're working out what you're going to do with your life, what were you thinking really at that time? As a person, as a human being, knowing that you put so much into one track, which is your sport, where did you think you were going to go? What were you thinking? Did you panic?
Well, Mark, Jamie, no, I never panicked, Jacko, because I had a lot of belief in myself. I mean, even at 35, I was 35 in 95 after the Bulldogs sacked me. I still believed that I could still play at the highest level. Right. I felt that. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to play in a senior grand final.
Yeah.
I played in 6 winning ones as a junior, but not one as a senior player. So what I did, I rang Port Adelaide Magpies.
Yeah.
I rang the bloke who was a CEO, Cunningham.
Not K.
What was his name?
Not KG.
No, not K. Not the umpire. Not the umpire, Jacko.
KG and Corns. Remember that radio?
I do. So I rang Port Adelaide to go and play there because they win grand finals, and I wanted to play in. There was a bloke called Tim Ginniver. Tim Ginniver was their captain, 300-game player.
Yeah,
Nuggety. He would have done a few shows. Done a few shows with us.
Nuggety little bloke. Yeah.
Good singer, plays the guitar.
Yeah.
Good talent, and he was their club captain. I've got a feeling it might have been Brian Cunningham, not Brian Cunningham. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to go to Port Adelaide. I'm going to fly in on a Thursday, train, and then play with Port Adelaide on the Saturday because they win grand finals.
Yeah.
And that's as simple as that. And then in the meantime, I ran into a bloke called Johnny Burt, who played at Essendon back in the 60s and was assistant coach under Bobby Rose at Footscray. He's a general manager of Fitzroy.
Right.
So I ran into Johnny Bird and he said, mate, I'm the general manager of Fitzroy, Hawk. Would you come and play at Fitzroy? I said, listen, mate, I'm a one-jumper player. I had a chance to go to Essendon when I was 22 years of age.
Yeah.
I knocked that back, could have played in 3 or 4 premierships at Essendon, and I stayed at Bulldog. I said, listen, mate, I can't play another jumper.
Yeah.
And then he said to me, Bernie Quinlan's going to be the coach. I said, shit, I like Bernie. He's a good mate of mine, and I get along with Bernie well. And so, Jacko, all of a sudden, Jamie, I'm thinking, you know what, I'm going to go stick it up the Bulldogs because I think I can still play.
Yeah, right.
And you're right, Mark. I had a lot of people say to me, Dougie, don't do it. You're a Western Bull. You're a Footscray player. Yeah. You're a red, white, and blue boy. That's your club. That's you. That's you.
Yeah.
And then I thought, you know what? Stuff them. Yeah. Stuffed this mob. They said I was finished, and that was my Braybrook mentality come back to me again, saying, you know what, I'm going to stick this up, this mob. So, Mark, a lot of people don't remember this, and they say, well, you know, you shouldn't have probably done it. You shouldn't have went there. It wasn't a good year. But, you know what, it actually was for me. I played 21 games out of 22.
Yeah. That's a good season.
The Brownlow medal. Yeah, that's good, Jacko. And the Brownlow medal, the umpire, well, they get it wrong a lot of times.
And you kicked a few goals that year too.
How many Brownlow medal votes did you get at Fitzroy?
I got 6, Mark.
Wow, that's good.
I got votes against West Coast and Geelong, who played off in the grand final the year before, in 94. So
good players play well in big games, mate.
Against a good side. So here we are in a team of kids.
Yeah.
You know, with no money. Clubs on the outer, the VFL want to get rid of them. Yeah. They're trying to merge them with North Melbourne to go down to Tasmania.
Yeah, they wouldn't sell it. They wouldn't sell the big asset, or they wouldn't give them their 1/12 ownership of the money of Waverley to keep them going.
That's it, Jacko.
They wouldn't give them the 1/12 that all the clubs were paying in their allotment of money every year was going to Waverley. So VFL, the manager and the 12 original clubs owned Waverley. right?
Yeah,
And
right.
out of their allotment of money every year, a certain amount went to pay for Waverley. This is stuff that never got talked about. They weren't broke. They could have loaned against what was a multi-million-dollar
The
asset back
collateral.
then. Yeah, they
Exactly.
didn't have to go anywhere.
Dougie, what does it take?
Yeah, you're right, Mark. Yeah, you're right.
Dougie, what does it
Sorry,
take?
James?
What does it take to sustain yourself for 17 years at the highest level? What sort of level of commitment? What sort of disciplines involved in being able to sustain yourself for that longer period?
Yeah, Jamie, I think, and Mark will, I think Mark will back me up here. It's just the belief in yourself. You know, you got to okay, play the one game and play at the highest level, but just to continue to believe in yourself and
It's
you know,
unbelievable,
again,
isn't it? It is unbelievable. I mean,
It's a tough gig.
I know, because you do. You hear the criticisms. You got the pseudo intellectuals talking around you and about you. You hear it.
Yeah.
You pretend you don't. You laugh it off, right? But that stuff stings sometimes, right? I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm thinking, you know, these guys have never been run out. They've never faced off against somebody else in face to face. At a top level, yet they've got all the pull, they've got all the say, and they're directing your career. I found it very, you know, I don't know how I can explain this, but, you know, when the criticism came down from those people, I took it to heart. I really took it to heart. I don't know about you, but the criticism from, you know, high-ranking members, committeemen, people around the club, you know,
journalists.
Journalists especially. What Dougie said about the belief in yourself.
Yeah,
it's the only thing that saved you.
sure.
You know, you just remember the
100%.
days that you're doing security at union meetings at the trades hall when you were 17 years old.
But
you
there
know,
must, apart from the self-belief, there must have been a huge amount of focus on being able to keep your body on the track for that long.
Yeah, Jamie, there were stages there late in my career that doing a warm-up, Jacko, to run 2 or 3 laps, it was a struggle. It was only after I got warmed right up and my body started to get into a bit of a rhythm. There were stages there early when I was in my early 30s. I was gone. I thought I was gone. Yeah. I said, I can't walk. I can't run. I can't warm up.
Freezing cold. Middle of winter.
I got 2 jumpers on.
Freezing
and I'm wearing
cold.
a tracksuit bottom.
Monday, Tuesday night. Come on. They got no idea what they've missed out on these folks today.
So anyway, that was a driving factor, and again, I might sound like a broken record, but that doubt when people start, Des Jacko was saying, when you get people around you start potting you and doubting you, there's nothing better to stick it up.
Good point.
And to prove them wrong, and can continue to do what you love doing, and for Dougie Hawkins, I love playing footy.
Right.
I mean, that was simple
And was
as
there,
that.
apart from the focus and the self-belief, was there also a lot of sacrifice involved in keeping yourself at
Jamie.
the top tier?
He had a good woman behind him, though, Jamie. Rails has stuck with him through thick and thin. He's got a great family. Yeah. And later on in his career, I mean, you know, before all the media started, which was a whole new career, you know, Dougie, you did have a lot of good home support.
Mark, you hit it right on the head, brother. And my wife, Raylene, come along when I was coming back from my knee reconstruction. That was the end of 87. 12 months later, after meeting Raylene, we were married in 12 months. And I'll say this, and I really mean this. I wouldn't know if I'd be here if it wasn't for her. I was going through a stage of a bit of depression, which we didn't know what it was.
Sure.
Jacko, did we back in those days, Jamie?
No.
After my knee, I lost my job as a truck driver. Footy career was over. I hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
I hit rock bottom.
What does that feel like to you when you hit rock bottom? What does it actually feel?
Oh, Jacko. You know what me out was, boys? You know what me out was, Jacko?
What?
Yeah.
Drinking alcohol. Drinking beer. I love the beer. Yeah, and I really had a crack. I mean, I'm talking, boys, I had a real... I was drinking a lot. And then all of a sudden, I was never going to come back. I was never going to get back because I was unfit. My knee was busted. And I'm starting to feel sorry for myself as well. So it was a bloody nightmare. And Raylene come along.
Yep.
And as you said, Mark, you know, I've got 3 beautiful kids, 5 grandchildren now.
Yeah.
Mate, I may not be here. I'm serious.
Yeah,
Jamie,
no, I'm hearing you.
Jacko.
Yeah, I've never heard you.
I've
I've never heard you declare that on any show or anything before. What you just said about Raylene. I mean, she's
may never be here.
She's an angel. Righto.
I've got something to ask you about on sort of vein. So are players today provided with enough support to deal with the life after footy in regards to long-term injuries, brain trauma and mental health issues that you just brought up? And they've retired from the game from their clubs, the state leagues or the AFL. I mean, do you think the league itself or the sport itself is looking after its own well enough?
I think, Jay, I think the advice and support they get from the football clubs are way better than Jacko in my days. And I think monetary wise, we all know, here's a young boy called Zach Butters from Bacchus Marsh where I live. Port Adelaide kid playing at Port Adelaide, loves the Bulldogs, family of Bulldogs, and all of a sudden here the Bulldogs allegedly offer him $2 million for 1 year. I mean, if this kid invests his money correctly, guess what? He won't be standing there with a stop-slow bat working on the CFMU site like
Hey,
66. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, Mark.
Listen, you're not driving around the country knocking on pub doors. I know a bloke who does that. He's been doing it for the last 30 years.
And I've been doing the same.
Yeah. Even Jamie's
So,
been doing it.
I'm saying, Jamie, to your question, Jamie, mate, the monetary now that these boys make, they invest it way better than when we got our money. Hey, at the end of the day, when we played, Jacko, mate, footy was our second job. Our main job was during the day. I was working from 7 o'clock as a cleaner or something like that.
I was a roof tiler. Yeah.
And you rush to train, and then you start training at 5 o'clock,
But
and then the next morning you get up.
didn't you find it kept your mind off things when you had to go to work and knock around and have a cup of coffee and, like smoke out?
Imagine you going to the club now and you spend the whole day there and you have 8 meetings. Imagine you sitting there.
Oh, my
this is some bullshit meeting.
Can you tell me? I've never been to a footy club. I don't know how they work anymore, right? But what do they talk about in these meetings, mate?
They talk crap, Jack.
But who's talking? Doug, who's talking? Who's talking to you at these meetings?
Some wanker.
Listen, I'll give you the extent of my meetings, right? The first year at Melbourne, 2 psychologists. Right, 2 psychologists. They were my meetings. Dr. Rudy Webster, right?
Rudy Webster.
You know, the tall West Indian psychiatrist?
Yeah.
He was the second half of the year. I remember I went there once with Dr. Rudy Webster, and he had me lying down on the couch, and he was trying to hypnotise me. And I swear to God, I had my eyes shut. When I woke up, I don't know what I said, but he virtually turned very pale. Right? And then the other one was a bloke named Lee Saxon, who's a really well renowned,
well respected,
psychologist, right? And I'm just thinking they were the only meetings I went to. But who are these minnows? All these guys are getting talked to about at these meetings.
Jacko,
what are they talking about?
Just ridiculous. They just talking, mate. They talk. And we all know that the footy's a very simple game. Let's not make it too complicated. They've got about 10 coaches. They've got coaches of this, coaches of that.
They can't teach them how to kick a goal. What's going on there?
Well, Jacko, you imagine Mark Jackson, and say Mark Jackson, Jason Dunstall, Tony Lockett, Gary Ablett Senior.
Yeah.
You imagine being Jacko, if you're 30 metres out, Jacko, on a bit of an angle.
Who cares? Yeah.
You're going to go back and kick the ball straight. You're not going to turn side on and do the Mickey Mouse boomerang.
The coward kick. Yeah. What about the coward kick? Under the rule book, under the rule. What about who invented? Like
what do they call it? The coward kick.
Yeah, the coward kick when they run around and try and get a bit of angle. But what they don't realise is that they're allowing more of the leather to hit the foot on a different angle, which allows more error. So they haven't done. They haven't. It's like golf putting, right? It's like golf putting. Goal kicking is repetition. You get into your lineup. You know your wins. You check the ball. You check the ball because there's always a stitch wrong at one end of the ball. You always check that. You check the wins. You know you run up. It's just like your mate Merv Hughes when he's running into fast bowl. Dougie right? You knew how many steps you were going to. It's a matter of balance, follow through, and follow through straight. It's purely mechanical. If you put the ball down straight, you're over the top of the ball straight, and you follow through straight, the ball has to go straight. Is that complicated?
No, that's very simple, Mark. Very, very simple. And I put a question to you two, Jamie, and to you, Jacko. Are we going to see another 100-goal kicker? Will we see a 100-goal kicker?
I was going to say that. We're not going to see one again, are we?
I don't know.
It doesn't seem. Well, the last guy that had any
knows?
potential was Buddy Franklin, I suppose.
Look, I don't follow it religiously. You know that, Dougie. Mate, you know, Dougie follows it a lot more.
Well, let me ask you this, Doug. Instead of having 8 team meetings per day, what do you think about the way Australian rules football has been developing in recent years with numerous changes to the rules by the AFL? It seems to be morphing into a game that I don't even recognise. I used to watch on the winners on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Jamie, just as a wingman, as a winger and a midfielder, I get very frustrated watching blokes kick the ball sideways and backwards.
Yeah.
Why would I want to do that if I have a Calvin Templeton or a Simon Beasley up in the forward line?
Yeah,
why would I
exactly
want or a Jimmy Edmund or a Mark Jackson?
Yeah.
Why would Dougie Hawkins want to kick it to Steve Walsh and Brian Royal standing next to me?
Yeah.
It's just bullshit. And
what is it? Is it possessions or what are they doing it for?
Well, Jacko, they walk off with 40 possessions.
Yeah.
And they're Mickey Mouse little handballs. And then all of a sudden, we got taught this as kids. if you're on the mark, if I'm on the mark, the umpires now yell out stand.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to move.
What's that stand? What's that mean?
Well, the bloke of the ball moves off the line, you're allowed to attack him.
It's in the rule book. That's in the rule book. That's the original rules. You move off the line, it's play on.
Attack.
Exactly right.
You know, Doug, I've always thought there was athletes and there was footballers. And not that I'm saying that a footballer wasn't an athlete, but I just thought the footballer had more of a gladiator sort of mentality to go to sort of battle every time they went on the field. Yeah. And I think that, from what the athletes are able to, run really quick and the game flows really quickly across the field and so forth, it just seems to lack the grit and the essence of what we used to remember as football, which everybody got turned on to because of the way the players used to go about it.
Yeah, well,
Jamie, you're correct, Jacko. Jamie's correct there because when me and Mark played, we had 12 teams. Yeah. And the bottom 6 and 8 in that 12 teams, they were pretty good. They were pretty reasonable. Yeah. We now have 18 teams. I think we have. Have we got 18 now? I think it's 18. Yeah. The bottom eight can't play.
Yeah, I haven't seen them.
Rude. Jacko, they're either too young and they're not ready yet. Yeah. Or they can't play. They can't play.
Well,
where are they getting?
With the advent of the Tasmanian Devils coming online soon, I mean, there's going to be 19 teams. I mean, where's that going to go to?
Yeah, but look.
Are we going to end up with 20? How's that going to help the
cause?
We will be,
Jamie. We will have 20.
Yeah,
where are they getting the talent from? Where are they getting the talent?
Well, they're going overseas now. The amount of Irishmen that are playing the game, there's a lot of Africans coming into the game now as well.
Well, why?
They're not ready. These kids ain't ready.
Yeah, because they want. Is this true or not, Doug? They want a specific athletic build.
Yep.
Right? Whereas the game was designed for all builds. Stocky, fast runners, ruckman, forwards, backmen.
Then you had your Kevin Bartlett's, who were a complete, almost like a greyhound.
I mean, there were superstars back then, of course. But I'm just saying, it was a game for everybody.
Yeah.
Now they've made it a specific game, and I don't think it's through the footy club. I think it's through the corporates that have made it like that because they don't want to see anything untowards happening in front of their sign on the boundary line when they've got big money put into sponsorship. Do you think, Dougie, I'll ask you a question here. Do you think the game's controlled more by sponsors and rule changes, or it's actually changing for the better?
Well, Mark, it's changed by rule changes by the AFL. Yeah. The AFL body is absolutely wrecking our great game. They've got people running the AFL who, I'm not going to name people, but fair dinkum. Leave our great game alone. It's not broken. Don't change things which ain't broken.
How many umpires are out there now?
They've got 3 field umpires and they've got 4 boundary umpires, 2 each side.
And,
and 2 goal umpires.
And are they still admiring their own haircuts and they're all priming? And are any of them carrying their same colour handkerchief in their pockets? Are they all still the same? Because I don't go to the game. I haven't been to a game. I haven't been for a game for about 15, 20 years. I don't know. I didn't even know that. How many boundary umpires were there? 4. Then you got 3. What's going on? Are they a team? Are they allowed to play the game as well?
Mark, it's mate. It's a. Well, you know what? I'd like to be 18 again.
Yeah.
I really mean that.
Yeah.
I'd love to play 18 now again and play this footy where. And there's a reason why we can't have physical contact.
Yeah.
If you hit the head now, you're in trouble. The whole thing. The Bulldogs now. We got Thomas Liberatore, the son of Tony Liberatore.
Yeah.
I think he's had 5 or 6 now head concussions.
That's right.
And he hasn't played for 4 weeks. Could be only 5 weeks coming up now.
Yeah.
And he's a player who the AFL might just say, you know what? You're not playing no more. This is too dangerous. Our ruckman, Tim English, he's 6'7".
Yeah.
He's had 6 concussions.
Yeah, right.
And you remember, Jacko, you remember bloody Justin Madden running around with one of those crash hats on.
Oh, yeah.
You
You thought it was something out of space. Like, what's this bloke doing? He's got a motorbike helmet on. You allowed to do that? I don't know how many concussions we both got, but...
You got a few.
We
got a few.
Mate, in those packs, when you go for a mark, if you were caught behind, you half step behind, you were copping one under the chin, unless you had your mouth shut.
Oh, yeah.
Very
I
hard.
got a couple of the Brabrick Hotel, Mark, too.
Yeah. Tell the people out there. Tell the people out there that story, Doug. They'll love that story. Or do you want to keep it?
Well, about the
hotel.
That's
a good.
Kicked out of the pub.
No, yeah. Tell them that story.
Well, Jamie. When I was 16.
Yeah.
When I was 16, I got kicked out of the Bradwick Hotel for underage drinking. And we've all done that. Jamie, you've done that.
We've all done that. Yeah.
I don't drink. Go on.
Now, I got kicked out of the Bradwick 3 nights in a row when I was 16. Three
nights in a row.
In a row. So, put your hand up, Jamie.
Didn't they recognise you the first or the second time?
Put your hand up, Jamie. Listen.
Hey, Jamie, they did recognise me, just happy to take my money.
That's right, it was, guaranteed, yeah.
Put your hand up. He went back to that same hotel years later, which we all did.
Yeah.
And when you went back to that hotel years later, there was a statue of you at the front of the hotel.
He's got a bronze statue.
Well done.
A bronze statue in front of the Braybrook Hotel.
Jamie, Jacko doesn't know this.
Yeah.
And I haven't told Mark. We haven't spoken in privacy.
Yeah.
The great Teddy Whitten's there. A mate of ours, Jacko, and you may remember the bloke. I'm sure he's a friend of yours. He might have been. Les Twentyman. Do you know much about him, Mark?
One of the greatest blokes to work on the streets and help people of all time.
Yeah, Western suburb bloke, and he helped them, and he went to school at Braybrook. Anyway, we put in a request to have a statue of Les.
Oh, did you?
Between me and Teddy Whitten, between me and Ted.
That's great.
And Mark doesn't know this, Jamie. And we put a request into the Jacinta Allen government. Yeah. To help fund it.
Yeah.
Anyway, they come back last week with a letter eventually. Les has been gone now 12 months. Can you believe this? This is how slow it's come back to us. And the request is this. We're putting together a statue of Daniel Andrews. Would you consider Ted Whitten Jr. and you, Dougie, to have Daniel between the both of you?
You're kidding. No chance.
Yes. Because we don't know where to put him. We got nowhere to put him.
Listen,
could he go between?
We're not going to talk about that rubbish. You should have sent a letter back, said no thanks. But hey, listen, I mean, despite all the rubbish and the Andrews government have got right over the journey, da. I mean, last time I was in Melbourne, I visited a couple of the railway stations. I had to do a couple of things. Right, meet a couple of people. I couldn't believe the job they've done. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, they've spent a lot of money and sent the state to the wall at the minute, but everything's got its cycle, so it'll come back. But They've got that for a long time. But those stations and the work they did with the crossings, the stuff, and I don't think I've met a family over there that hasn't had some sort of family person or a son or a daughter or an uncle that's worked on those projects on 4,000 or 5,000 a week, right? So when they're slinging shit at the government, right, because they're a big target, let's face it, but people have got to remember that out of that money, a lot of people got paid a lot of money on street level, right? So they've got to remember that. Hey, I'm not saying yes, I'm not saying no, but I'm just saying, I'm making a point that they've done some fantastic work with the infrastructure.
Well, seeing that we're talking about politics, sort of, let's talk about you. In 2013, you campaigned as a member of the Palmer United Party for a Victorian Senate seat in the federal election. Now, but I'm serious about this, Doug, because, I mean, this is the nature of who you are, right?
You treat it as a joke.
Did you feel that there was something, you had something to offer the Australian people, or especially the people in Victoria, with your passion towards, Victoria itself and also the people in that state? And also, in the same year, you were struck by lightning. Is there a coincidence? Is there some sort of parallel with that? I mean, what came first, the lightning strike or the election?
He set up the lightning strike. It was really a laser. It was a laser that hit him. It was a white laser. He had a bloke over in a building flashing, and he actually sold the lightning strike as a story. That's unreal. Unbelievable.
You know what it was, Jamie? You know what it was? Jacko doesn't know this. It was a low flying saucer. And a flying saucer, and these aliens tried to go from another planet.
You're a flat earther. It's all coming out now, though.
No, mate, let's get back on the election.
Yeah, go back to mate, and Mark knows Barry Michael very well. Great boxer.
Yeah.
Him and Lester Ellis put on 15 brutal rounds for the.
That was one of the greatest fights of all time.
Agreed.
Yeah. Festival Hall back in 1985.
The joint was rocking.
Two boys from the western suburbs punched the living suitcase out of each other, and Barry got the points over Lester, and just too great. Anyway, so Barry was number one on the ticket, and then Barry rang me and said, "Hawk, do you want to be a senator, a politician?" I said, "Mate, I can't say arcs and I can't say manure." I said, "How am I going to do this?" He said, "Mate, you'll kill them because they don't much chop themselves. They're no good either." So I met Clive Palmer, and he went through the policies and all that, and I had no idea about the boat smugglers, carbon tax. Jacko, what do you know about carbon tax?
Plenty. What do you want to know, Dougie?
We did a podcast on it a couple of weeks ago.
We did. Yeah. I know plenty, Dougie.
Backfired on me. No. Well, I know Jacko about it. So, Jamie, it was obviously something that I was challenged. And again, my upbringing, if you don't do it, you're never going to know.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a go at it and give it your best shot, well, you're never going to know, are you? And then,
but you have got a passion for Victoria. You have got a passion for people in Victoria. So obviously, I can see why you want to represent them and do the right thing by them, by trying to change or improve the state of Victoria and the rest of the country.
It's not as far-fetched as you think, right? No. Because Clive Palmer's obviously a multi-millionaire, rah. What does the money mean? Yeah, who cares, right? Money's money. You can't take it with you when you go to the grave, right? That's all right. But, look, that's good. But picking you, who had a grounding in the western suburbs, who knew people and was loved. I mean, it's not like I designed a different character. I'm sorry to bring I into it, but your character is loved, right? Whereas my character is in the middle, where I fed off 50% hating me and 50% liking me. You got 95% of people love you, Dougie, right? That's a different character position,
and
right?
The other 5%, by the way, were the ones of the opposition.
No. So it wasn't. What I'm saying is, it wasn't a stupid thing that Clive Palmer did.
That's why I'm bringing it up, because I think it is credible that he was actually put forward.
Yeah. So anyway, Jamie, Jacko, it was something I had to crack out. It didn't last a long period. I remember meeting Jeff Kennett. He said, "Hawk," what are you doing? I said, "I'm not sure, Jeff." He said, mate, no one's going to vote for you.
What?
Sorry? Is that what he said?
Jeff Kennett said, no one's going to vote for you.
Why did he say that?
And then he laughed. He laughed at me.
Was he saying tongue-in-cheek?
Yeah, just stirring me up. He just said, "Oh, mate, no one's going to vote for you, Hawk." And he just laughed, and we had laughed together.
Yeah, but those elites mean that, mate, at that level, right?
Well, Mark, I took it as a bit of a throwaway line, and I didn't take any umbrage to it or any.
I would have.
It didn't upset me, mate. It didn't rub me 1 inch.
But what was the experience like, though? Was it really like soul-searching when you were going through the election and having to meet people and being asked to say, play with the sort of the party line and that type of stuff?
Yeah, there was a certain AW bloke, a presenter in the morning, who was trying to get me on to make a mug of me. To ask me all about the Palm United policies. Yeah. Because he knew that I knew nothing about them.
Yeah, righto.
And he consistently had his staff ring me to come on to his program and make a mug of me. Yeah. And I refused to go on because I was number 2 on the ticket. Barry was number 1. Yeah. And this bloke continually wanted to make a mug of me, and I wouldn't go on.
No, and that's the thing. That's a very important thing, like what you just said, right? And we'll just talk about a little bit in the last 5 minutes or so that we got. Do you think, like you being Dougie, the lovable larrikin, right, out of football and the football world, right? Do you think that you've outside of footy? Do you reckon that you've undersold yourself? Like,
good question, Mark. Good question.
No, I mean when you're thinking about your own self, and you've stuck in that same genre for 50 years. Do you reckon that you could have done better working outside of that? Investigating other things in other states, in other areas. Do you reckon you could have done as good with the drive that you had? Do you reckon you could have done more?
Good question, Jacko. Great question, matter of fact, because, and Mark, you're a part of this program and show as well. The Footy Show on Channel 9 was a juggernaut. Yeah, Jacko, it was a juggernaut. Eddie Maguire, who I think is a magnificent host. Love or hate Sam, he was the Footy Show. Trevor Marmalade behind the joke cracked a few jokes. And Dougie Hawkins sat there, and I got to a stage of the Footy Show, only lasted 4 years there, that was people laughing with me or laughing at me, the way that I spoke sometimes and mispronounced my words. Yeah. And I started to get this feeling that they're laughing at me, you know, and then the opportunity come up to go to Channel 7 to do this show called Live and Kicking, which was just a dead set shit show. It was shocking. Yeah. Me and Dunstall went there. But Mark, you're on the money, mate, because I got to a stage there where I was getting sick of guessing, am I the court jester we laugh with or laugh out? And I want to be seen to be a little bit more serious. Yep. Talk about footy, which I love. Yep. Bit of commentary stuff. Yep. And then to do that show Live and Kicking. So Jacko, it was a tricky thing that where people see me now. Yeah. They still take me as a knockabout court jester and from Braybrook. And I'm not going to lose that, Jacko. No. Jamie, I'm not going to lose that title or that tag. Not that I want to totally. Yeah. I'm proud of who I am.
But you'd like to get taken seriously sometimes.
Yeah, exactly when I talk about footy and
with the career that you've amassed in the time that you played, VFL, AFL.
I know footy pretty well.
I know you do. Yeah. Just the achievements on that level means you should be taken seriously. It's okay to have a great sense of humour, but if you felt that you're being laughed at and they weren't laughing with you, they're laughing at you, that's a terrible indictment for someone that achieved so much for the game and made so many people happy in the time that you were playing football. I mean, to me, that's a bit of it's a shame that the Channel 9 guys took you down that path, in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
The media does
it wasn't that. Yeah, it does, Jacko. It does, Jacko. And Jamie, it probably wasn't the media guys. No. It was just me being me too a bit, you know, just me being a knockabout.
But you got to understand the media. I mean, I saw that thing you did lately on Live and Kicking, right? Or what? No, the front bar or whatever it was, right?
It was good.
I mean,
Yeah.
and I looked at it and I'm going, well, you know, Dougie, it's 30 years ago. He's lived a life. He's run a business. I mean, everything's centred.
He's reared a family. He's done all the right things in life.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, they're riding him on things and making funny things. All right, they were funny, but they've been seen 1,000 times, right? If you're not constructive enough to come and get something better out of the bloke that you got in front of you, what are you doing?
Well, this is why we're here talking to Doug now on this podcast for
I
that
just
reason.
felt that
Jacko. So yeah, with the front bar with Sam Pang and Mickey Malloy and Andy Marr. I was on the other night, last Wednesday, with the great Michael McLean, Indigenous boy who come from Darwin to Footscray at the age of 16.
Yeah.
It was a great story. That segment with Magic, Mark, I thought was pretty good.
Yep.
I mean, Mick and Sam chucked a couple of one-liners in. You know what?
But they're
I
comedians.
couldn't give a shit.
But they're comedians.
That's
Yeah,
it.
but hang on.
Yeah.
You're making an excuse for them
No,
as a
I'm not.
media
No, I'm not.
presenter. They're selling advertising, right?
Yeah.
They're getting paid big money, but you're dealing with somebody's emotion. You're dealing with a human being at the other side of that bar,
Agreed.
right? They haven't got people on the other side of the bar that can throw shit back at them.
True.
Right, and pull them apart like an oily roast chicken, like I would, right? But they'll go and pick an
soft target.
soft target. That's my problem with it,
Yeah.
right? That's just my opinion, and I don't.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Mark, I actually, if we were talking about the front bar last Wednesday with Magic, Magic McLean, mate, his story was a magnificent story. He was the original Territorian to come from Darwin directly into VFL.
Yeah.
And you can imagine a Mark at 16, you know, an Indigenous boy, the crap that he copped over the fence.
Can't imagine.
Unbelievable.
You know, and you remember Glenn James, the umpire, Mark?
One of the greatest AFL or VFL umpires that should never have umpired anywhere. No, I'm only joking, Glenn.
Hey, Doug,
I had me moments with him, don't worry.
Doug, we're getting short of time, so I thought I'd ask you this as a wind-up. Now, everybody is someone that gave them, everybody in life is someone that gave them an opportunity, a chance to get a leg up in their lives that they should be thankful for. So who were some of the key people in your life and career that were important for you?
You mentioned
we
Teddy.
touched on it, Mark, and I mentioned Teddy early days. I had a footy coach at Braybrook. His name was the late Gary Crump.
Yeah.
He coached us in the under-15s, a grand final that we lost. We lost one grand final out of 7.
Wow.
And I'll never, ever forget it. It was at the Western Oval, which is now the Whitten Oval. We got beaten by a mob called Spotswood.
Yeah.
They beat us at the Whitten Oval. He got up on the chair and he said, boys, feel bad about today. We got beaten, feel shithouse. And you know what? As long as I'm coach, we will never lose another grand final. So the next 3 years he coached us, the 3 in a row. We never lost another grand final under him, and to his word, he was absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
So him and EJ and
Your mum.
my mum, I love my mum. My mum was my best friend.
Oh, aren't they?
Mum loved the Bulldogs. We had a cousin called Terry Wilkins who played at Footscray. Might have played with you, Jack, at Melbourne, maybe not, maybe before your time. He went to Sandringham and played in the VFA days when it was pretty tough.
Yeah, it was.
And willing, yeah. So, and obviously my wife Raylene over the last 38 years now. So, again, as I said before, if it wasn't for Raylene, who knows where I'd be.
Well, just in finishing, Dougie, and in fairness, I want to thank you for coming on. Tell me how good you are, but it's got nothing to do with the show's name, but giving us some real insight into Dougie Hawkins. But just in finishing on this note, I know, Dougie, you just had a mate that's just passed away. If you want to just pass on your condolences to the family on this, you're a gentleman.
Mark, this is a real big hurt factor. This boy's name's Victor Strellis. He's a great mate of mine, and he didn't have a family, hasn't got a family, and we maintained friendship right through from the commission flat days, and very, very sadly that he's passed on. Yeah.
All right.
But he wasn't well, Doug, for a long time, so maybe.
No, he hadn't been. No,
so maybe it's a bit of a blessing in a way that he's got that relief.
Yeah. You're right. Jamie. You're right. And,
Yeah, but it doesn't stop the hurt.
No, that's true.
yeah.
But the thing is, obviously, it meant a lot to you. That's why you're hurting. And the other thing about
Yeah,
this is that
correct.
means he'll remain in your consciousness for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's been a pretty tough day, and we just, probably brother. I didn't have another brother, and great mates.
I'm here for you, Dougie. Anything you want, or anything you want, mate, just let me know.
Doug, you've been awesome, mate. So thank you so much for being a part of Tell Me How Good You Are. It's been great to meet you.
Go, Dougie!
All the best.
Thank you.
Good on you, boys.
Thank
See
you,
you,
Doug.
mate.
That was incredible.
See you, mate.
Well, see, there's things that you just find out about people that just you can change your perspective of exactly what you thought they were.
I was just so rapt that he really gave us stuff that people never hear, and he's a human being like all of us, and, I think it's very important that we get, no matter who we got on. He probably feels confident talking to you because of the relationship you've had with, in the game. Yeah. But for the very fact that he was able to share, it just shows you the quality of the person that he is. He's a very open person. No, I agree with you. I want to tell you, it's been a slice again, and I'm really thankful for your professionalism, Jamie. Fantastic.
Same here, mate. I'm really enjoying these people you keep bringing you to the table because
you're
we're learning that much from these people. It's next level. I hope other people looking at this podcast are getting the same sort of thing from it that we are.
I agree. This is Mark Jacko Jackson in action for Tell Me How Good You Are Satisfaction. Jamie.
Thanks, Mark. Oi. Today's podcast is proudly brought to you by Fifth Generation Honey, a fifth-generation beekeeping family proudly continuing a legacy that began over 100 years ago in Mouchet, Western Australia. Fifth Generation Honey produces honest, high-quality honey that reflects the land and the care behind it. There are 7 varieties of honey available, including Banksia, Wildflower, White Gum, Red Gum, Jarrah, Blackbutt and Red Bell. You can contact Fifth Generation Honey and order by email on hello@fifthgenerationhoney.com.au.